I want to say access to Redlake Treaty Camp of the 1863 treaty in Minnesota, Anishinaabe territory. New journalism with Martin Dewey, and we are currently at the Redlake 1863 issue. And right now, what they're doing is cleaning it up and preparing to start to put in the pipe. Now, when we look at what's here, there's 2 security cameras here, and these guys, this treaty camp is right. I mean, it's very on the side. I'm not going to show the camp, but it's on this other side. And then you have the actual security cameras, which are 2 of them. So I'm just going to go here for a little bit, relatives. Right now, many of you guys who do not know what the 1863 treaty with the Anishinaabe territory is, you should look it up. And there's several treaty signatories that are coming through Minnesota with Anishinaabe relatives here. These are the agreements that this country made, forefathers of Americans. And when there was nothing to barter with, no land, no money, nothing. These winds are heavy here too, guys. And so these treaties are in existence in the United States. And as we're seeing here, this is a multinational energy company, international energy company, which is Enbridge. And this is also known as Biden's pipeline. That's the other thing that's being known here at these camps. Is this is Biden's pipeline. Dakota Access was Obama's pipeline. And he can't stop this. He did stop KXL, but it's also one of those things where this did not go through the environmental regulation. This is a 7-year fight here with the Anishinaabe people trying to protect their traditional harvesting areas, their water, their waterways, their water source. And as you can see, these guys, this is one of 20 other, there's 20, I believe, drill pads like this. And they're now finished with all 20 drill pads. And so the next step is laying the actual pipe. That's what the next step is. And that's what these guys are getting ready to do. And the amount of technology that they have, as you can see up there in the little bit left corner right there. And there's another one farther back over there where the officers are sitting. And there's just a lot to learn from and the history of America and extraction, the history of America and these MMIW, missing murdered indigenous women, the history of America. Do what they're doing today was to disconnect us, take us, solve it, the Indian problem, kill the Indian to save the man, which the merciless savage is in the Constitution, using indoctrination, stealing our kidnapping our children into the foster care system, into the judicial system, into the legal system, and into the boarding school system. Militarization, preparing them with heavy militarized tactics as children into these boarding schools, which we are now starting to find. And we all knew this throughout Indian country of the mass genocide inside of the boarding school system, the pedophiling and indoctrination and forced Western education that we have in there. In the over 367 boarding schools across the United States. So this is everybody's problem. No one can no longer walk guilt-free living in America. If you're watching this live feed, it's important for you to just listen to a little bit of the education that I'm sharing with you. That it's the historical trauma that it's called from the loss of land, loss of language, forced loss of dignity, again, indoctrination, militarization, colonization, contamination of water, nutritional genocide with the commodities. this is it to get the extraction these guys are doing with the black snake. It's been hard, relatives, to watch this in several stages. But we're not helpless. There's a lot you can do. One of the things you can do is you can also write the state. You can go on Redlake, their website. They have links to pages where you can send in your public comment. You go to Honor the Earth. You go to stop line3.org. There's so much you can do. So I want you to stand strong. You can do what we did: brought donations, brought supplies, support, uh, beef up the morale. It's just you showing up and just seeing what's going on here. There's a lot you can do. Help, and if you can't make it, you can also could be sharing that message. There's so much you can do uh, besides monetary or donations. You can share inside your circle, educate yourself what's happening here, and be part of the solution to this problem. And these guys are moving fast. The other thing we noticed and that we documented here was along this line right here. These are trees that have recently been cut, and these guys got thousands of those. And the tree cutting companies around Minnesota are just going crazy. Even at the national park we were at, we saw the tree cutting going on. These are the trees that are used to make this. Is you know, they just seems like when is enough, and it's sometimes we've got to do something. And right now is we got to learn our role and what we're doing this, and that's to educate and empower people to share and to be able to stop this. So, meaning that they're calling this Biden's pipeline right now. Literally, it's just setting in all this pipe. So with that, relatives, we just want to say, send blessings to our relatives here at Redlake Treaty Camp, 1863 Treaty Camp. 1863 Treaty Camp. Look that up on the website, and you can find more information about how the tribes are trying to protect their traditional harvesting areas, and they have that right. This government, the United States government, has an obligation to honor the treaties. And so, as Americans, you can no longer live guilt-free. It's time to hold the government accountable to honor their forefathers' promises to the indigenous people and start the healing process with all people. And what the government is starting to call that next step is called white rage, and that's with the white supremacy, and that's with the craziness that's happening with Western culture during that time. There's so much, I want to share with you with this, but to see it and listen to it, I guess says enough. So what's going on right now is frack outs. Frack outs is where they've hit the aquifer in the bottom and it's caused a frack out. And that can also be looked up to be a more technical term. So there's quite a bit to look on with this. Um, what happens when they frack through with it, because they went under the Mississippi here, and these channel all into the larger headways. These are going to the headways of the Mississippi River. These waters are crystal clear. You can see down to the bottom here. If you look straight into the water there, we were swimming in it yesterday. It's completely clear, but the frack outs, they're also using thousands of gallons of water for the road. And the places that they're taking water, they've got pumps in there. And in other areas, they've documented that all the river has actually run extremely low, and some places completely out. Coming to where is line 3 going to? Again, you can look at stopline3.org, and that'll help you understand a lot more than what I'm sharing with you. They've done, this pipeline is 340 miles of pipeline. They had 20 drill pads, which are now complete. And here what you're seeing is one of the last ones. And the pipe is going in. Now what it is, the pipe is going in. want you to come up here. I didn't know you were going to come up with this canvas right there.
Oh, I just wanted to come say hi.
Okay, love you, buddy. Where do we go back in? Very interesting. All right, guys, we got work to do. So we're going to get off here for a minute. This is happening all the way across the state of Minnesota through Anishinaabe territory. Total of 5 camps are up. You can go to stopline3.org to read more about this and also show what it is that you can do to help in your support and solidarity. Mardu, digital smoke signals. Na pija nama yara wa pija nama na nishta ha pija tumia. Pija. Oh.